Recording in progress. Good morning, everyone. Fix my camera a little bit. Did some housekeeping here yesterday, and want to make some things a little bit different. So sorry. All right, that's better. So good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, from the NRSV Bible, Psalms 124:1. The first part of it reads, "If it had not been the Lord who was on our side." Wow. We used to sing a hymn in our church. I got brought up in an older, older style church and did a lot of hymns. And one of the hymns we would do is, "If it had not been for the Lord on my side, where would I be? Where would I be?" We used to sing that hymn. This week, the leading up to this day, I just waited every day to hear a word, uh, you know, for Sunday, and I didn't hear anything. I just kept hearing over and over, "I'm nothing without God." Mhm. It kind of reminded me like the old hymn, "Without God, I could do nothing. Without God, I would fail. Mhm. Without God, my life would be drifting like a ship without a sail." So I knew where God was pointing me to, and I just sat there and listened and allowed him to extend what we started last week. So this week I'm going to be extending "Nothing Without You" to the next level. So today's topic is entitled "Nothing Without You, Part 2. I can do all things." My God. The mission statement for today is, with God leading and guiding us, our possibilities are unlimited. Goodness. King James Bible, Acts 17, verse 24. I'm sorry, verse 28. That's the Acts 17:28 from the King James Bible, and it reads, "For in him we live and move and have our being." In today's translation, if you were to pick this up in a newly translated Bible, it would read, "In God we survive, act, and have existence." Last week, I left us with that phrase, "I'm nothing without God," that we are nothing without God. So the next phase of study needs to be, what can I accomplish then with God? If I'm nothing without him, what can I actually do with him on my side? See, all of our lives are during God's hands from beginning to end. Now, it may not feel like it all the time, but it is so. It is. It's just that way. See, God is always with us. Bible verse says, "The eyes of the Lord are everywhere, beholding the evil and the good." There's nothing God does not see. There isn't anything he's unaware of. So when I say I'm nothing without him, what does that really mean? Now, this is important because whereas I'm telling you we are inadequate, I'm also telling us that we are empowered. Now, question may come up, how can we experience both little and big at the same time. See, that's the balance that we have to live in. We need to realize that on our own, my God, we will fail. If we try to do this with our knowledge, we will error. My goodness. See, El, humans are funny, and they're funny because they understand that knowledge is powerful. They know this. And at the same time, they recognize that possessing all knowledge is complete power. But wherein humans fail consistently is where they take what knowledge they have and feel that it's all they need to know. My goodness. A question I asked myself is, who can comprehend all there is to know about God? Who has that capacity to know everything there is to know about God? The Apostle Paul said, it's not that I have obtained it, but I press towards it. And he openly admits that although he has degrees, he has titles, his education comes from some of the best scholars of his time, yet he said, I need to get to know God. My goodness. The way Paul phrased it is, that I might know him. That's the only thing that's important to Paul, is that I might know him. He said in one of his teachings, Paul said that we see through a glass darkly. This indicates that although we study God and continue to hear instruction from him, we are only touching the outer surface of the knowledge that God contains. None of us will ever know everything there is to know. We are incomplete. We're not a finished product. So, there's so much that needs to be done in us while we are on this planet, this earth, this life. See, this is why no one can say that they are better than anyone else. It does not matter to God. It doesn't matter if you're a Bible scholar or not. It doesn't matter if you can read or write or not. If you're rich or poor or in between, the condition remains the same. Nobody knows everything there is to know about God. I'm learning about him. You're learning about him. Goodness. The beautiful part of this is that we can learn about God together. We can learn how to love and how to display compassion and mercy and grace. All of those things that I listed are on God's list of demand to know basis. You got to know how to do these things if you're going to be with him. But we don't know them on our own, and we have to learn them. See, these are the things that we must know to do the work that God appoints us to do. And we don't have them. We're not born with them. And there's only one place we can get them from, and that is God. See, nobody is born knowing God. We all need to come the same way. There's an old song that I used to sing in our church. It says, God's got a way that you can't go under. God's got a way that you can't go over. God's got a way that you can't go around him. You must come in at the door. Oh, my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. So I spent last week, and the beginning of this week clarifying that we can't do anything on our own. But I also need to tell you today that is you're not a failure, God. You have great capabilities and possibilities within you. And if you remember from some of my past lessons, whenever the Bible uses the word great, it always refers to size. It never means ability or skill. So, as flawed and as imperfect as we are, God expects enormous things from us. MSG Bible, Philippians 4, verses 8 to 13 read. Remember, this is MSG Bible. Summing it all up, friends, I'd say you'll do best by filling your minds and meditating on things true, noble, reputable, authentic, compelling, gracious, the best stuff, not the worst, the beautiful, not the ugly things to praise, not things to curse. Put into practice what you've learned from me, what you've heard and saw and realized. Do that, and God, who makes everything, works together. I'm glad in God, far happier than you would ever guess. Happier than happy that you're again showing such strong concern for me. Not that you ever quit praying and thinking about me. You just had no chance to show it. Actually, I don't have a sense of needing anything personally. I've learned by now how to be quite content. Whatever my circumstances, I'm just as happy with little as with much. Um, with much as with little. I'm sorry. I've found the recipe for being happy, whether full or angry, hands full or hands empty. Whatever I have, whatever I am, I can make it through anything in the one who makes me who I am. My goodness. As the Apostle Paul teaches his audience in Philippians, the people of Philippi, he is confronted with people who are new to this way of life. They are suffering from from being ridiculed, and this has bound them in a place in dangerous surroundings. So what Paul does is remind them of the mindset that they are to have as a people of God. Now, my goodness, you're not just those old people. You are a new people. And this is how we react. My goodness. There is much that we will accomplish in God. There is much required of us who say we know God. And the basis of my making that statement that we are nothing without him is that if we try to do it with our methods, it'll fail. It'll fail. Our intentions gonna fail. We can't do enough to know how to bring people to God and live a beautiful life without God showing us. And the beauty in this is that God will only show us so much. God, like Paul said, looking through a glass darkly, nobody gets to see it all. My goodness, nobody has the complete picture. And I don't care what anybody says. There's always always more to learn. So the things that I need to do for God, I can do them. He gives me the power to do it. He gives me direction to accomplish it. He gives me guidance to succeed in it. But he lets me know that the only way that this is going to come together is if he is directing me. Paul in Philippians 4 is telling them that I know how to be up. I know how to be down, but my mind is not focused on that. It's kind of like Stevie Wonder's song. I don't know if any of you have ever heard it. Stevie Wonder wrote a song called Treat Myself. Mm-hmm. In that song, Stevie Wonder recites Philippians 4. He says, whatsoever things are loving, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are true, I think I'll treat myself to all the pretty places in my head. Oh my goodness. Paul, he brings this thing to a climax in verse 13. I'm going to read in the King James Version, Philippians 4 and 13. It says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. See, Paul said his concentration is on the goodness of God. He said, he said, I'm not going to be absorbed, in those other things. He said, I'm gonna dip myself in the goodness of God. My mind won't stumble through my failures, my inadequacies, who don't like me, who doesn't do things my way. God, my mind, Paul said, is going to be focused on other things. It's not focused on those things that are going to be detrimental. He said, instead, I'm going to be zoomed in on how good God is to me and what I need to do to honor him. Paul says that you can do this. Goodness. He said, this is such a powerful statement that Paul makes. He says, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Goodness. It's not in my lesson, but if you read that Bible verse, the people were going through things, but they were concerned about they hadn't been able to fund Paul. They haven't been able to send him help or give him any assistance because they were going through themselves. And Paul said, no, you don't get this. I've been up before. I've been down before. It's all right, because what I found out that in my struggles with life is that there's nothing that I can't accomplish. Long as Christ is on my side, he gives me the strength. See, I remember somebody preached a sermon a long time ago. I can't remember who that was, but he preached a sermon asking a question: what are all things? Oh my goodness. He read that I can do all things through Christ. And he asked the question to his audience. He said, what are all things? Well, I'm here to tell you today that all things are all things. Oh my God. Whatever it is that you need to do is part of all things. God. Whatever it is you need to accomplish, they line up with all things. Oh my God. Getting over disappointments, all things. Worries, problems, hurts are all overcome by all things. I can do all things. There's nothing I can't do. My goodness. Kurt Franklin's song, Forever Beautiful Grace, I read it to you a little bit last week. It says, I'm a mess. I make mistakes. I get mad and say things I shouldn't say. But your love reminds me every day that I'm the reason that God made grace. I love the old saying there, Nothing too hard for God. There's nothing too hard for God. I love that saying because it's in that statement where my failures can be conquered. My limitations can be overcome. God. I said in last week's lesson that God's grace is for me. It's not just for you. I'm not telling you what a mess you are. I'm telling you what a mess I am. God. I am full of mistakes. There are those things that I do that I know right off the bat that I shouldn't have done. God. Then there are those things and those times when I'm a little unaware, that I hurt somebody and that I've made a mistake. It's a song by William Chester Mass Choir, Reverend Ernest Davis, the late Reverend Ernest Davis. His song "God's Mercy," it sums up just how easily we can mess up. And some of the lyrics are, God, when I think of what I've done today that I should not have done today, when I think of what I thought today that I should not have thought today, when I think of what I said today that I should not have said today, when I think of what I wanted, when I think of how I acted, when I think of how I felt, when I think of where I went, when I think of what I thought today that I should not have thought today, Lord, I thank you for your mercy. I thank you for your mercy. I thank you for your mercy today. Oh my goodness. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Yeah. We are, all of us. And I want us to know that all of us are, because I don't want anyone to feel like that's the mess over there. Like she's the mess over there. He's the mess over here. No, I am. Oh my God. We are a mess without God in our lives. Goodness. Leading and guiding us daily. Oh my goodness. But the thing is as lacking as we are, and as unfinished as we are, as incomplete as we are, still our possibilities are limitless. Because, like Paul said, as messed up as I am, we can do all things through Christ. My God, we can do all the things we need to do. But Paul's stipulation was only in the presence of God that strengthens us. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Thank you for hearing us today. I'm nothing without you. I'm nothing without God. Yet I can do all things. Oh my God. Be blessed. I will talk to you again.